while we were on the air, we heard about Isaiah Likely. We heard about Jordan Stout, the punter from the Ravens. Later in the day, they got the guy you wanted, the guy I fully expected they would get in Tremaine Edmunds. They bring back Jermaine Eluemunor. They just added a corner in Greg Newsome. They're not done yet, but we are 22 hours in NFL free agency, Tiki Barber. How do you feel about the New York Giants?
Actually, I feel pretty good. You forgot the all-pro punter to boot. No pun intended, because John Harbaugh is a special teams coach, as we said yesterday. And I think you're starting to see this Giant roster get shaped in his image. And I was just watching this social media post about how they got Isaiah Likely and how Mark Andrews, who is 30 years old, his contract was expiring. Mm-hmm. He signed an extension at the end of last year, almost as if John Harbaugh knew that he was leaving, and wherever he was going to go, he wanted Isaiah Likely because the Baltimore Ravens couldn't sign both of them. Right? You're not going to give both guys $40 million.
Sabotage?
It's like he sabotaged the Ravens, so they couldn't keep Isaiah Likely. Instead, they keep their Mark Andrews, and Isaiah Likely becomes a free agent, and then he signs with the New York Giants. But he's one of my favorites in the league last year because he was a backup, but when he had to play, when Mark Andrews was beat up, he became Lamar Jackson's favorite target. Yeah. And I think that's what he's going to bring for Jaxson Dart, a reliable pass-catching tight end to pair with Theo Johnson, who obviously is young and up-and-coming, but he's had his issues. Isaiah Likely won't have those.
The two moves that I like the most for the New York football Giants, number one is Tremaine Edmunds, who we had talked about for the last few weeks, potentially as a trade target.
Yes.
And then when the Bears released him, I remember saying this to you, I have a confidence you guys are going to get him. Because it's almost like Joe Schoen and John Harbaugh said, we know that if we don't give in and trade you what you want, you're going to be forced to release him, and he wants to play for us, and we'll sign him. And it was almost like, at least that was my fan fiction theory, which now I could back up because they signed him.
Yes.
So I had a confidence they would add Tremaine Edmunds, and they needed to improve their linebacking core, and they've done that. But the other move that's very important, I believe this, you certainly believe this, is that you need continuity on your offensive line.
Yep.
It is how you had so much success, or at least contributed to the Giants' success. It's where the Jets had success in the late 2000s under Rex Ryan. You need continuity on your offensive line. And Jermaine Eluemunor, to his credit, they've asked him to move positions at times. He's done it. He's been a pro. He's rock solid. And they brought him back. And I wasn't sure they were going to bring him back, because I remember when this offseason began, we were talking, all three of us, because, yes, Sean is back from Disney World.
How are you doing?
Oh, good.
You bald fraud.
Where were you yesterday on free agency day?
Doing a lot of Giants podcasts.
You shut the hell up. Well, it's good to have you back, but we weren't sure if they'd be able to bring him back.
Right, because of the potential number. I was surprised, in a good way, about the deal that he signed.
3 years, $39 million.
Yeah, 3 years, $39 million. You can do the math. It's really easy. $13 million a year. There were some thoughts that he would get close to $20 million a year in free agency. And so I don't know the overall structure or if this was a team-friendly, take a discount because I want to be here type deal. But Jermaine Eluemunor staying is a huge deal for the Giants because continuity, you mentioned, the only issue right now is right guard. Who is going to play right guard? And I don't know what the plan is. I don't know if Marcus Bowe is a candidate to move down to guard. Remember, if you know the Ravens' history, they did that last year with Daniel Faalele, who was a big tackle, who they moved into guard last season and kind of started to find his way. So they have answers if they desperately need them with guys that are on this roster, but I expect them to also sign a guard at some point.
The other question you have is you look at, well, who did they lose? They lost Dane Belton to the Jets. More on that later.
Yep.
And then they lost a bunch of guys to the Tennessee Titans because Brian Daboll is strange. Brian Daboll has a strategy. Let me bring in the guys that got me fired.
Wait, who's the head coach of the Tennessee Titans?
Really, it's Brian Daboll,
is it Dave's or is it Robert Saleh?
Well, Saleh got JFM, too. They're working in tandem.
Yeah, but that was like one removed, right? You know what I mean?
He was on another team for a couple of years.
For a year.
Yeah.
Two, exactly.
Which shows you how
he's on two different teams.
No, and he traded for Jermaine Johnson.
That's true.
Right.
That's right. In the case of John Franklin Myers, it was Robert Saleh telling you how he felt about the Jets getting rid of John Franklin Myers. Maybe he didn't agree with it.
Right.
But the one guy that you love, forget Wan'Dale Robinson, because I think we all knew like he has priced himself out away from being a New York Giant. The loss of Cordell Flott, especially, I heard Connor Hughes yesterday mention this, that the Giants thought they had it done. They thought he was coming back. They end up losing Cordell Flott. They replace him with this Greg Newsome, who I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what to expect.
Right. He's young, but
He's a question mark.
He's a question mark, exactly.
Is there
I also don't think they've replaced Cordell Flott.
No.
So it's somebody else they're going to go get.
They signed somebody, let's put it that way.
Yes, exactly. I think that Greg Newsome is here as an emergency if he has to start, but he's going to be the veteran backup outside corner.
And again, he's not that veteran. He's only 25 years old.
He's a young guy.
Years
He's
old,
like he reminds me of a Jet move, like a 1-year deal. Maybe we can get something out of him.
Right.
But that would, I guess, be the only negative from yesterday, day one of NFL free agency. Not that I think Cordell Flott is some kind of superstar, but I think that's an area where you look at your roster and say, have we gotten worse?
Yeah.
I think in a lot of other areas you got better.
Yeah.
That would be the one area where you look and say, we got more work to do, as you said.
Just looking statistically, because I haven't watched him on tape, Greg Newsome, but he was a first-round pick of the Cleveland Browns. He started a lot of games in those first couple of years, but just statistically, it looks like it was a regression after he hit 24, and they moved on from him. They traded him to Jacksonville, and he played half the snaps down in Jacksonville. So he's kind of a project, but he's not the quote-unquote answer at the other cornerback position, to further what Sean was saying.
But they do lose Wan'Dale Robinson. Do you replace him by being aggressive in a trade for
Brian Thomas?
Brian Thomas Jr., who apparently is available?
That sounds interesting to me.
Yeah.
And look, you bring Malik Neighbors back with his college teammate. Brian Thomas is a really good wide receiver. He's had injury issues. And so that's the one thing you worry about.
He had a great rookie season, and then last year regressed.
Right.
Now, I
just wasn't available.
From afar, I'm confused why Jacksonville would move him. And I would assume that they're going to ask for something pretty valuable.
Yeah.
Like, they're not just going to give him away. And so when I heard about his availability over the last couple of days, I thought about it in the Jets and Giants prism. And I believe he makes great sense for the Giants and little sense for the Jets.
Yep.
Because in my view, if I'm the Jets and I have to use a valuable draft pick to get him, I'd rather draft my own wide receiver and kind of have a 2-year head start on paying that guy with the possibility he's going to be better.
Yeah, it's weird.
In the Giants' case, it's a little different.
Yeah, when I look at Jacksonville's roster, Parker Washington, who was one of their top wide receivers yesterday, he's young. Obviously, Brian Thomas is there. But then don't forget they drafted Travis Hunter. Now, we don't know how they're going to use Travis Hunter, but he's also a wide receiver. And so I think they might be worried about all of these 22 to 25-year-olds that they're going to have to pay. And so if Brian Thomas is not in the plans, and they remember when they signed Jacoby Myers basically became the lead dog down there last year when they traded for him. And so maybe he just quickly became the odd man out. So it doesn't make sense to me either, Evan, why they would want to trade.
That was my reaction
Brian
to it.
Thomas.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if they're going to give him away, absolutely you got to take a look at it.
We talked yesterday about Michael Pittman Jr. for about the 45 minutes where we thought he was available before he got traded, because he did get traded yesterday to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he made a lot of sense. So I think when you look at what the Giants have done day one, solid, and what they now need to do, to me, getting a real corner, like Sean mentioned, and adding a good wide receiver. I can't believe that Mike Evans left the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I can't either.
I am stunned by that. And I look at where he went.
He goes to the 49ers.
Right. That's the thing that makes me realize the Giants didn't have a chance, with all due respect, because the Niners are just more appealing. They're closer to a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess if he was going to leave, Teak, that would be a team like that. But I'm just genuinely surprised he left.
Well, I thought, look, Mike Evans, he has a strong case to be a Hall of Famer. And I remember doing a game with him a couple of years ago and asking him about like that. Like, what are your future plans when your contract comes up? Because if you keep this streak, I mean, he had that streak of 1,000-yard receiving seasons, I think 10 in a row, 11 and whatever it was. And if he kept that going for, I don't know, a couple more years in Tampa as the iconic Tampa Bay with the Super Bowl championship under his belt, like, you got the Hall of Fame.
No doubt.
But if he should leave, the only way it furthers his conversation is if he goes someplace where he can also be great.
Yes, and wins the Super Bowl.
And potentially wins another
Super Bowl,
which is why I think San Francisco made sense. Because you look at the offensive pedigree, you look at Kyle Shanahan, you look at where their trajectory is, which is constantly in the postseason with a chance to get a Super Bowl. It made sense. I was shocked by it as well, but it made sense.
Yeah, that's a good way to phrase it. As we sit here today, you think about it and you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But in the moment, I was like, no way. This guy's leaving Tampa Bay? Because I thought, like, because we took a few calls about it. People called in and say, what about Mike Evans? What about Mike Evans? And my response, and you had the same response, was, yeah, I'd love him for the Giants. He's not leaving Tampa.
No.
And he ends up leaving Tampa.
Right.
But the reason I can't get mad about it, because a part of free agency is not just reacting to the guys you sign or the guys you lose, but the guys who went elsewhere that you wanted. That's a big part of free agency. It's why yesterday I had a level of disappointment in Malik Willis going to Miami, because I was interested in him for the New York Jets. I would have loved Mike Evans for the Giants. I just think that it's tough to compete with the Niners.
Yeah.
It's tough to compete with Kyle Shanahan. As high as we all are on John Harbaugh and Jaxson Dart, it's a little bit, it's not quite there yet.
Yeah.
Not
right.
quite there yet. So Giant fans, how do you guys feel about day one? 888-808-1019. I know you did 150 podcasts, but for the WFAN audience, and as the voice of the real Giant fan here at WFAN, how do you feel about what happened in day one?
First of all, I'm thrilled that they'll finally be able to pin an opponent inside the 20. I think that was the best signing of the day yesterday.
Underrated, man.
I mean,
underrated.
They had so many holes, we forgot Jamie Gillen sucks. So that pumps me up. Look, I'm optimistic. I think they've already replaced Wan'Dale Robinson in many ways by adding Isaiah Likely and all the work he could do out of the slot. But look, they got work to do. I don't like this cornerback room. You mentioned it. I think they've taken a step backward there, and it doesn't mean Cordell Flott was Deion Sanders, but that's a major Achilles heel. They have to figure out this guard position.
Yeah.
My fear as it stands, and I know it's only day 2 of free agency, but this happens fast, is that I just don't want the Giants sitting there at number 5 feeling like they have to plug a need, whether that be cornerback or offensive line. And we still got time to go. I'm not waving the pom-poms yet, but I am excited about yesterday.
I want to make something very clear to you, because I don't think you fully understand it yet. And don't kill the messenger. At number 5, you're going to take a running back.
No, we're not. And I'm good with that.
You know what's going to happen?
Sean, you are.
we're not.
If you want to make a prediction right now?
Yeah.
I did Giants are trading back.
Oh,
I agree.
You got me all excited. I thought Tiki was going to
No,
double that and say,
no, they're trading back.
Jermaine
I feel it now.
Oh, do you?
I feel because they don't. There's nobody that they need at number 5 right now. And so what they can do is trade back, get some other assets, get a viable whatever the position may be, cornerback, et cetera, later in the first round.
By the way, it makes sense. But what you just said also leads into why they're going to keep it and take Jeremiah Love. Because they're not going to reach for a corner at 5. They're not going to reach for a need at 5. What they're going to do is take the best available player.
Right.
And trading up and trading back is so cool, but you need a partner. You need someone who wants to do it. You need someone who's aching for it. I don't know if that's there. And I think if they sit there at 5 and say best available player, and remember, they have not added a running back to this running back room, and they're trying. They made an offer on Kenneth Walker. I believe.
Did they?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
I believe your biggest fear, and I'm not doing this to troll you. I honestly think we're going to have it happen. You're taking Jeremiah Love at 5. I think it's a great move. I think he's a tremendous talent, bro.
I think they I think they move back and take a linebacker.
Okay.
Yeah, or the corner from LSU.
Right. But
Okay.
There's a people might not want to trade up for Jeremiah Love. They might want to trade up for one of these edge rushers.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Like they might want to trade up for somebody else other than what we're assuming the Giants are going to potentially be looking
You
at.
never know who and why a team is going to trade up, but you need someone to want to do it. And that's the thing.
Do you think 14 minutes into our first show together in what feels like a week and a half, Evan, you think I'm going to take the bait there and get
There's no
get
bait.
me all? They're not taking a running back
Sean,
5th overall. They're
Sean,
not doing it. Stop it.
Sean, I know you've been away for a while. Tiki, have
Yes.
I been pretty consistent that it
Yes.
actually, from a football standpoint, makes sense
No, it
for the Giants to do this?
Yeah.
Okay.
It does. I
Thank
mean,
you.
but only if they secure everything else in free agency.
100%. 100%. Free agency needs to line up a certain way. And they've addressed linebacker with a really good move for Tremaine Edmunds.
No, they still have to add another linebacker.
Okay.
I know.
Well, they're still looking for a running back, too. They
Are
are.
they? Because they got
Yes.
Devin Single. Evan,
Stop.
Evan,
Don't fall for this. They
Evan,
reworked Evan Singletary's
Evan,
contract and it means
Evan,
something.
they did exactly what I predicted they would do. They fake got invested in Kenneth Walker. They knew they were never paying him. They made him an offer. They knew they were never signing him. It's all a dog and pony show.
I'm hitting while the iron is hot on March 10th, 2025. Since you're so cocky and confident.
They're not drafted Jerome.
Okay, that's great.
Now, they may draft him after they trade back.
Hold on. Before the Giant beat writers that you love or the people in the Giant organization feed you the food you want and change your opinions, I want you right now to make a big-ass bet with me about Jeremiah Love and the Giants at number 5, since you're so
Okay.
confident.
All right.
What are you going to do for me and the audience if you're wrong and they take Love at 5? What are you going to do for us?
What do you want me to do for you?
Tire showing a thong? Like maybe something like that?
Nobody needs that.
Yeah.
No,
We
you're right.
don't need that.
Nobody needs that. Let's think this through. And I'll ask the audience, what should Sean Morash give us? Not just me, because it's not a bet that's about me.
And what are you going to give me when they don't?
Whatever you want. You name it. You tell me. I mean, obviously, I should be getting odds on this because I'm going
Because
out.
I know you're confident.
Right.
I'm going out on a little bit of a limb here.
He's only pushing this because he wants to taste your tears.
Exactly.
When it happens.
Exactly.
That's the only reason he's pushing this. He doesn't really care.
He wants me to hate a guy who I think is probably going to be a good player. It just doesn't make sense at 5.
No, I actually.
Jeremiah Love is going to be a really good player.
He's going to be a star.
Right.
He could be a Hall of Famer.
Great.
And by the way, I want to make this very clear to you and every other Giant fan who has this PTSB, as we're calling it. Mm-hmm. Get it, Chuck? PTSD.
Yeah, post-traumatic Saquon order. How about the fact that it's still blown up for the Raiders at Ashton Genty? Let's, how
Take
about
a
that?
deep breath.
More recent examples.
Take a deep breath. I want to remind you, you're in a very different position than you were in 2018 and the Raiders were with Ashton Genty. Very different. It is a completely different scenario. And so sometimes as sports fans.
The Raiders are worse, by the way.
I understand, but they were in a different. You have Jaxson Dart. You have a quarterback. You have a head coach. You could argue that that would be the piece that puts you over the top. It's just very different than comparing it to 2018 and the Raiders.
Let's be honest. The running back is coming back. The import of the running back it's growing back in the league. You're starting to see it.
No doubt.
Especially with some coaches like John Harbaugh who believe in having a guy who can give you 25 carries and just wear on a defense over and over and over again, especially with all of the inside football metrics that people talk about, the too high coverages, so there's not an extra safety in the box. There's just more room if you have an elite running back to do some work there. But that being said, I just find it hard to believe it's worth taking a running back that high.
Okay. We shall see. And Sean will think about it throughout the show today. And if you have any advice on what he should offer me and the audience, you let us know. We'll get your calls coming up, 888-808-1019. The other thing that has me on edge today is I can't say the Jets had a bad first day. I mean, the Jets are trying to rebuild their defense. And
they went all in.
No, they did. And they've gone through this process, and it really started with the Jermaine Johnson for Devondre Sweat trade. Obviously, Minkah Fitzpatrick before free agency began, but then they get Joseph Asai, an edge pass rusher on a 3-year deal. They bring back Demario Davis. They bring in the edge pass rusher from Green Bay. They bring in Dane Belton, your guy. So I'm not crapping on anything the Jets have done, but I'm on edge. And you know why I'm on edge?
Because you're waiting for that impact guy.
No, close.
You're waiting for that quarterback.
I'm waiting for the glass to break and to find out what is Darren Mugie actually doing at the most important position on the field.
This Darren Mugie fella.
What's he doing? And I'm sick of the speculation. I'm sick of the theorizations. I want a freaking answer because put me out of my misery. If it's going to be Carson Wentz,
Please.
just do it.
Right.
If it's going to be Geno Smith, just do it.
A little bit better.
Did you hear what Boomer said this morning? He thinks it's going to be Kirk Cousins.
Quit being a puss, Boomer Esiason.
I don't know who it's going to be.
By the way, that's who I would like. For you. For your psyche. He's a solid QB.
I don't want him. But what I really, really want is I want the answer. Because I don't want to spend any more time at night or during the day daydreaming about what we're going to do at the most important position on the field.
Right. Because after free agency is over, the draft is not giving you that answer.
Well, it's going to give me a project.
Right, but you don't want a project.
I want to know what they're doing. And my fear is at some point today, especially Sean being in the mood he's in, he's all pissed off that he missed NFL free agency yesterday.
Are you moody, Sean?
He's moody.
I couldn't be happier.
He's pissed off at me because I brought up Jeremiah Love as the 5th overall pick.
I'm not biting today.
Sean can't wait for the glass to break because when that glass breaks at some point today or tomorrow, he's going to get to give me the news that I really don't want. And that's the fact that some veteran schlub is going to be my quarterback next year. Don't do this.
I'm just testing that the button works.
You shut the hell up.
You want to mess with me? 2 to tango, pal.
So you're going to taunt me all day, aren't you?
You started it.